Okay. And while you are, it's time to get back in the watching shit.
Like,
Creators,
just listen to.
creators are
Let
created. Creators are created. Senchi.
me chill before you guys eviscerate me in the comments. This show is literally about trash. Gachi Yakuta is a new gen shonen anime I've been watching with a lot of potential. The story, the animation, the fights, and the voice acting are all super polished. Especially the voice acting for the English dub. Like, just listen to this.
You crashed out, went on a murder spree. Promise you're not gonna crash out on me, alright? It's your boy, Jabbo! Rudo, my man! I'm about to get mad. I'm hitting something here. Careful now. I can only get so erect. You got some pretty good game for a worn out, foul mouth, butthurt, ratchet, short stack spear, right?
English dubs have started to incorporate up-to-date slang and meme culture into their scripts. It's only a matter of time until we hear a 6-7 joke in an anime. Anyways, I finally finished watching My Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, so let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. It starts off with a quote of the day like it's Classroom of the Elite that says, "It's said when an object is treated with care, a soul will come to inhabit it, so when trash is thrown out, what comes to inhabit it?" This is the type of letter that would be attached to one of them haunted dolls. Ironically, we cut over to this little girl holding a broken doll as her mother tells her to throw it away so that they can get a new one. Low-key, they are kinda dressed like celestial dragons. That's when we cut over to our main character hooded up as he gets caught scavenging through a bunch of trash. The guard who spotted him instantly upped to Blicky on him like damn. For all he knows, he's ready to up fire on a homeless man looking for his next meal. Our main character hits him with the forbidden dookie juice before parkouring away. They end up catching up to him as he uses future sight to dodge all the bullets and escapes into the sewers. We cut over to a pan zoom out animation of two different areas of the city, and my celestial dragon comparison from earlier isn't even starting to sound that crazy. This is how Top City and Undercity look like in Arcane. The ghetto side of the wall is basically the favelas. These people are called the tribesfolk, and our main character Rudo over here has a hobby of going into the apostle side and stealing a bunch of trash that they've thrown out. Which again, I don't know why it's such a big deal that they threw it away to begin with. We get introduced to Chiwa, who's kinda like Rudo's love interest. She's kind, caring, and even stands on business against the people who were bullying Rudo. She kinda reminds me of like Mimosa from Black Clover. Rudo on the other hand is a certified YN. He gets especially angry when you bring up his pops because there seems to be some hidden background lore. After Rudo displayed some L-Riz, he goes home and we are introduced to our Iruka sensei. This guy's name is Recto and he basically acts like a father figure to Rudo since he found him as an abandoned baby. He teases him for having negative game and then tells him that he needs to stop going on his side quest to the other side of town since it's extremely dangerous. He patches him up and sweet mother of pearl, his hands are ashy as hell. Put some cocoa butter on there, bro. Matter of fact, you might need some Vaseline for this one. Apparently he's been like this for as long as he can remember, and it causes him extreme pain unless he's wearing these specific gloves that Recto gave him. He goes out for a stroll as we get some more cutie patootie moments between him and Chiwa. It really seems like they both like each other. I sure hope they get together. Like, do you know how in love you gotta be to jump through the air like Gear 5 Luffy? He runs home to go and tell Recto the good news, but as he opens the door, the owl from Tokyo Ghoul turns around and it's clear that he's hit Recto with a British greeting. Damn, it hasn't even been 10 minutes. He goes into his anime rage mode but gets off-screened as this guy casually strolls out of the front door. Rudo wakes up and runs to Recto, who grabs him by the collar and tells him to run away and change this world. He for sure knows something we don't. What do you mean change the world? Rudo might be the child of prophecy. Sadly, he gets caught lacking by the celestial dragons and these guys are more trigger happy than American police officers. But to be fair, this time he was standing over a dead body. They accuse him of murder and without even a fair trial or nothing, they sentence bro to death by pit. This justice system is ruthless, out here moving like Doug Hudson.
I want this nigga hung by jumper cables.
In the middle of the city, there's like this giant bottomless pit, and the people in power have been using it like it's some sort of modern day guillotine. I think I'd rather get caught jaywalking by Batman than get thrown into this pit. Look at the way these guys are cheering. Imagine they had something like this today. Yeah, hey honey, you down to watch the execution tonight? I heard they are sending 67 people to a fall for eternity. Rudo is obviously so outraged at what's happening. He shouts at his shorty to vouch for him just for her to switch up like Rachel from Tower of God. What? I'm actually perplexed. Rudo is justifiably so crashing out as he looks up one last time and sees Recto's killer just chilling in the crowd as he begins to fall into the abyss like it's an early 2000s anime opening. Wow. He begins proclaiming some Eren Yeager level rhetoric, saying that he swears revenge on everyone that hold him when The next scene just cuts to him at the bottom of the pit, somehow still alive. He looks around and it kinda just looks like your average dumpster, but when he turns around, he sees this giant kaiju, Elden Ring beast monster thingy-majiggy that begins chasing him. He continues to evade them and realizes that he might be in Jahannam. Rudo is on 2 HP and decides he's gonna go out squabbling, so he picks up this pipe and clocks one trash beast in his jaw. He tries to follow up but ends up getting bounced into the mountain. Rudo really isn't doing so good, but I gotta respect the dedication to the squabble. He grabs this piece of metal and practically hits the trash beast with a Getsuga Tensho as he finishes the other one with a world-cutting slash. This man is not a regular human. Right when he thinks it's over, another one comes through, sending him flying. This is really how it feels to play any early stage of any Dark Souls game. But right when he was at his physical limits, Kisuke Urahara pulls up. Like, no, deadass, tell me this isn't a Bleach reference. He gives him a gas mask and Rudo instantly begins yapping, but the masked man tells him to be quiet numerous times because these trash beasts use sound to locate their prey. One begins forming around him when he equips his Bankai and turns his umbrella into some type of weapon. It's still like a 1v15 and this guy is just standing there, unfazed. He eviscerates the first one and speed blitzes the other two, flying down like Mary Poppins. There's only one left as it begins charging a hollow purple, but Bro Chacho deflects it and charges up a Gurren Lagann type move from the top rope, obliterating it into nothingness. This guy is a demon. I don't know who he is, what he is, or what's even going on anymore, but that's my guy. He walks to Rudo and asks him if he's okay, and he takes off his mask and says that he's a cleaner. What a goated character design though. How is he even more tough without his mask? Rudo passes out from the blood loss, but by the time he wakes up, he's tied up and being dragged along by the guy who saved him. Rudo starts tweaking again and tells him to teach him everything about this place so that he can go back and get revenge on the people that threw him out. That's when Bro just takes him to this random area of bandits and calls it a learning experience. The Lethal Company NPCs ask Rudo if he's a Spherite, which are people who are living above ground, and Rudo tells them yes. They get all excited and seem very nice, just for it to cut over to them sealing Rudo away like he's Tai Lung. It turns out that Spherite actually sell for a high price on the black market. They are super rare because the people on the ground hate the people that live above them, as they continuously dump their trash on them, which causes those trash beasts to spawn in. The world concept is honestly kinda cool. The bandits swear that all Spheroids are living amazing lives whilst they are all struggling, but they don't know that my boy Rudo grew up in the trenches. He starts bugging out and a red aura engulfs his gloves as he breaks free from their chains. It's a wrap. You know an anime character is about to go insane when his eyes go full white. He's releasing all his nen out here looking like the hero killer Stain. His eyes start glowing red like Kurapika as he grabs the chains and lands an insane down heavy. The bandits close the distance and knock away his weapon, but he grabs a random tire and off-screens the rest of these bombs before walking down the final one. I thought he was gonna put him on a t-shirt, but Engine pulls up and stops him just in time. He explains that people who can use the powers Rudo just displayed are called givers. Givers can imbue their cursed energy into specific items that they have taken immense care of, but usually you can only do it with one item, but Rudo seems to be able to just grab whatever he wants, which might be possible due to his gloves. Engine offers to give Rudo all the answers and support he needs, but in exchange he needs to join the cleaners, which is like a group of people working together to keep the city safe or something like that. Rudo initially declines, so Engine explains to him that he won't be able to survive on his own, since almost everyone on the ground hates the Spheroids as much as the bandits from earlier. The underground city's design is honestly kinda tough. It looks like something straight out of Cyberpunk. Fast forward and Engine dips out, leaving Rudo with some money which gets taken by this cat, so Rudo chases after it, taking the stick to try and catch it. But turns out that the stick belonged to this guy who looked like he would fit right into the Tokyo Revengers cast. He grabs it back and it seems like he's part of the same group as Engine, because he releases his chakra into the stick as it transforms into a Sage of Six Paths weapon. His name is Zanka, and Engine appointed him to be Rudo's teacher, but they are having what Greenox likes to call a nigger moment, when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical person. Rudo activates his Sharingan and looks like they are about to squabble, but Rudo decides to be the bigger person and apologize, which instantly calms down Zanka too. He actually seems kinda chill now. We could really learn a thing or two from this interaction.
I'm lending a hand until I get what I want from you guys. I was being nice to you, dirtbag!
Well, never mind. After yet another misunderstanding, they decide to cut the yapping and put the gloves up. Zonka lands the first blow and steps in with a down heavy, followed up by an up heavy, straight into the Zelda Breath of the Wild flurry rush. Rudo tries to counter but gets weaved and revenge counted. Zonka is fighting Rudo to assess his strength, since he's intrigued by his ability to turn anything into his vital instrument. But after the first exchange of blows, he realizes that Rudo picked up a plunger and is flinging around nothing but dookie. Rudo thinks he's cooking, but whole time Zonka is just not trying to get hit by the doo-doo. When we cut over to Engine picking them up and finding out what happened.
You guys bonded over a doo-doo duel?
Nah, this man engine is hilarious. Doo-doo duel in the official dub is crazy. I can already tell I'm going to love this character. They are driving to their headquarters when we get to meet Rio, who's another one of their members.
Oh, that's
she
bad.
seems to be interested in
that
Rito,
is
I guess.
horrible.
They end up making it to the HQ when we get to meet their mamacita. What you doing out here, baby? I was thinking me and you could grab some lunch later or something. Like what's up? This one here is Dr. Umar approved. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry, my bad. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused. She's the receptionist of the cleaners, and her vital instruments are her glasses that let her see the potential of anyone she looks at. It's kinda like how Rico from Kuroko no Basket is able to see the stats of any player she sees shirtless. She imbues her glasses, but before we see anything, the screen glitches as she plays it off when Engine asks what happened. This is like that time when Karin looked into Naruto and felt Kurama's chakra. Engine continues the tour and explains that there's around 100 cleaners in the facility. As he takes him to see the boss, we're made aware that he's not here right now. That's when Rio shows up and says that Rito can tag along with her on a basic maintenance mission to get an idea for what it's like being a cleaner. That's when That's when Semiyu tells us a little bit more lore about the ground. It's divided into two areas: safe zones, which are habitable, and polluted zones, which are inhabitable. Some polluted zones are more dangerous than others, and the most dangerous ones, like the one that Rito originally spawned in, are called polluted zones. The average party consists of cleaners and supporters. Supporters don't have giver abilities, but they support by carrying stuff and helping with recon. Now that we're all clued up, let the side quests begin. A couple of low-level trash beasts pull up in the first wave, but the second wave is even more insane, which causes Rito to start getting a bit shaky. Rio assures him that it's all fine and they won't get any bigger than this.
I seriously doubt the herd will get much bigger. You gotta learn the importance of keeping it cool.
Do you love the way I do when I love you?
Well, I'll be damned. The trash beast the size of the armored titan pulls up, and even Rio is perplexed. She pulls out a vital instrument, and it's a pair of scissors. She's building them using her feet, stringing together insane combos. One of the supporters saves Rito with a lower level trash beast by palming it into the ground and tossing it away like Team Rocket. Damn, even the supporters got it like that. Rio focuses on the giant trash beast while the supporters clean up the smaller ones. However, this guy ends up tripping and almost gets caught lacking, but Rito steps in and holds one off. But after actually getting face to face with it, the fear just paralyzes him. Luckily, Rio comes through and lands the final hit. Rio says that trash beasts continue to regenerate, so decides to just cut it up until it can't move anymore. Rio is really putting belt to ass out here looking like Levi Ackerman versus the Beast Titan. She prepared for the final blow before jumping off the top rope with both feet and impaling its fall. I can already tell this show is going to have some unique and interesting fights. Rio has already become top 3 scissor users. I mean, there's only like 3, but still. They regroup and it turns out that a vital instrument was powering the trash beast, which is something completely unheard of. Anyways, they return to the hideout and have themselves a nice welcome party for Rito, which is honestly pretty wholesome. Everyone is enjoying themselves except Rito, since he's feeling all down because he couldn't get his vital instrument to work. But this ray of sunshine, this sweetheart, this lovely human being Grish, gives Rito some hope core and tells him not to worry about the small things and that he should just focus on moving forward. He's right, he already saved one life. It's best to look at your cup half full instead of looking at a cup half empty. Pessimism and negativity get you nowhere. A few days go by and Zonka, Grish and Rito get caught up for a new mission. A merchant was attacked by a trash beast which stole some cargo, which apparently was a living spheroid. Since the spheroid might have some information on how to get to the sphere, they are going to investigate to see if they can get any answers. They meet the client who pushes them into the building where the spheroid was supposed to be, but as they get closer, it's clear that it's just a door and they were tricked into a trap. And after watching Corey play No I'm Not Human, I would have known straight away that was a trap, bro. The floor beneath them falls when they get ambushed by raiders. Seems like news traveled around on the fact that Rito was in custody of the cleaners, and because spheroids make a lot of money on the black market, these raiders saw it as an easy lick. They are probably like One Piece bounty hunters. I hope they at least stay relevant in the story, unlike bounty hunters. Raiders are also givers, but chose the life of the streets instead of becoming cleaners. The supporters plus Rito dip out, since they'll be practically useless in a fight between givers, and leave Zonka to handle the 2v1. It low-key reminds me of how when Inagami got killed, 2 Imperial armies in fights, one of them always dies. The squabble commences, and the girl begins spawning in mud puppets, but it's light work for Zonka until Ikaku spawns out of one of them and lands a Mike Tyson overhand sending him flying. The girl creates the mud puppets, while the man hides away, stacking chip damage over time. It's a solid strategy. Zonka tries to fight them off, but the man keeps easily evading all the hits with almost zero effort. This is probably what Luffy felt like fighting Logia users without Haki. Zonka is just standing there, unfazed, when he tells them to shut fucked up because he's figured out their trick. Only the woman is a giver, and the man is using special shoes to maneuver in the mud. He puts his stick in the floor and uses tough seismic sense from Avatar The Last Airbender to locate Saitama and speed blitzes both of them, knocking them out in 2 blows. Sensational. His battle IQ is insane, no wonder Engine keeps glazing him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I can already tell bro's up to no good. He got locks and a Rinnegan. We cut over to Rudo and the supporters who are waiting for Zonka to return, just for it to be Lucic, Kaiser Nat, Libby from Jimmy Neutron?
Yo.
Nah, bro, before we find out who this even is, I gotta say, Gaichi Yakuta is 2 for 2 on the black character designs in this show. They are already contending with Bleach and Fire Force. He latches to the wall like a gecko, and it's clear that he's another raider after Rudo. He blocks the exit and starts yapping about some nonsense, completely ignores the supporters, and tells Rudo that he needs to take him to someone who wants to have a talk. I know he's an antagonist right now, but I can't help but like him. They ask him what happened to Zonka, before he deadass says he off-screened him. He releases his Bankai. It seems to be a pair of claws. This man is really moving like the Bloodhound Knight Dario from Elden Ring. The 2 supporters go in for a left-right good night, but he weaves straight into a reverse Uchiha double kick. Grish gets up and says that he's going to protect his peoples, but in that same time, this Shredder wannabe already impaled him with his poisonous claws. Damn. Yeah, you know what it is? It might be raps. When the animation goes back to the manga, we were about to witness a generational crash out. Last time I seen this shit was when Luffy smacked the Jeepers Creepers out of Donald Trump. Rudo grabs Grish's prayer thingy and turns it into his vital instrument as it transforms into something straight out of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Rudo activated his powers because he realizes that it only works when he uses it on something that he sees value in. The Wolverine wannabe finally tells us his name, and it's Jabba. Jabba is just enjoying himself. He's like Battle Beast, always looking for a good squabble. It seems like because Grish prayed to his keepsake every day for everyone to come home safe, Rudo interpreted it as him wanting everyone to come back uninjured, which means that his vital instrument creates the ultimate defensive ability. It kinda works like Vanessa's string cat from Black Clover and almost rewrites reality if it senses the intent to harm Rudo. I just knew I was going to love this power system. It has like an infinite amount of cool possibilities. It's really similar to like, I don't know, I wouldn't say Nen. I would say it's like a cross mix between Nen and Bleach. Jabba goes in for another attack when the Eye of Agamotto activates, allowing Rudo to land a disgusting right to the nose. And this freakazoid Jabba is just laughing whilst getting pummeled. I would even go as far as to say that he might be getting turned on. He switches up his tactic and decides to use his environment to his advantage to try and figure out how Rudo's powers work. But in the process, he's getting hit with the Yusuke Urameshi nothing but knuckle sandwiches. After some experimenting, Jabba says that he figured out his weapon. Things that don't have hostile intent won't be redirected. And you know, off topic, now that I can see the whole fit, the clothes, the purple aesthetic, the hair, this man is the Prowler. Like, come on, I know you guys see it too. Anyways, he stabs himself with his poisonous claws before he passes out and reawakens as a mindless beast. This man is tweaking. He goes for a whole barrel roll attack followed up with a side heavy, and it seems like his theory was correct because he's now a mindless beast, so Rudo's vital instrument won't intervene. Even though Rudo's instrument isn't helping, he's still Weave Nation certified, dodging his sparking rush combo and evading his down heavy. Jabra is keeping up with that full court pressure though, and just as it seemed like he was gonna land a hit, my goat Zonka throws his stick from deep, knocking Jabba unconscious. He's not doing too good though, but this should at least even the odds. Zonka and Rudo come up with a plan. Since Rudo's instrument works based on intent, it might be possible for Zonka to strike Rudo and have the weapon teleported in range of Jabba to land a strike. I guess it makes sense, but when I was watching it, I just felt like the weapon was like moving it in a random area, so I didn't understand how it would like put it directly next to Jabba, unless the intention was for it to be next to Jabba. I don't know. Someone is gonna have to explain that to me in the comments. Jabba wakes up and he's still a mindless beast, so they give it a try, and surprisingly, it actually worked, as Zonka lands a clean hit on Jabba. They continue their onslaught, clocking him in the neck, the gut, and the head. Seeing Jabba get mixed up like this gives me PTSD to fighting a tryhard in Brawlhalla. They be having you in combos so bad you can't even do anything about it. You're just gonna put the controller down. And hey, it really seems like they did it. But when Rudo turns to his vital instrument, it disintegrates into Thanos dust, and at the same time, Rudo just gets knocked because he ended up actually getting caught by Jabba, who gets up like nothing happened because the antidote to his poison is in his left claw. I'm not gonna lie, he just clutched a 2v1. I gotta respect it. He grabs Rudo, and for a second, I thought we were gonna have a Sasuke retrieval arc in the first season, but as he makes it to the outside, my shooters, Rio and Engine, jump him. Engine had bro up against the wall the same way KSI had speed when they were boxing. Jabba wakes up, and he was really ready to take the 4v1, but this this femboy teleports out of nowhere, like Lafitte from One Piece, and grabs Jabba, telling him this time is up and he needs to go back to see the boss, adding like yet another layer of depth to the whole situation, because it seems like Jabba and the gang weren't after Rudo for money after all. Grish really ain't doing so good. It seems like bro might actually pack it in. The music, the last words, the fading amulet, I really thought bro was gone, but nah, he was just badly injured. And look at how shocked Rudo is, man. Hey, you and I both, bro, you and I both, because I'm equally perplexed. What type of older pump fake is that? I thought he was gone. Whilst everyone is talking in the hospital, this 6'7" center with a deep voice and cornrows just walks in whilst aura farming as he greets Rudo. Turns out this is the boss of Engine and the cleaners. Gachi Okuta has gone 3 for 3 in the span of 8 episodes. The boss accepts Rudo as part of the cleaners when they hook him up with a new fit and tells us some more lore. He explains to Rudo that the border is this thing that lies between the sphere and the ground, but apparently it's a death trap and everyone who has tried to reach the sphere has died. However, he said he heard a story of a traveler that lost their way in the no man's land near the border when he ran into a woman just chilling there. The traveler asked what she was doing there, when she said that apparently she's been seeing some people just come and go between the two lands without any issues. Even though it sounds like a bunch of folklore, it's still a good enough lead to go off. That's when we cut over to Jabba and the femboy who made their way back to their hideout as we get a small glimpse of the boss. He spouts a bunch of random words but ends off with saying the Watchman series as it pans over to a similar emblem that was on Rudo's gloves. The plot's thickening. Imagine this is like his dad or like a family friend or something like that. Like, I don't know. They did say that his dad was sent like to fall in the pit too, so it kind of makes sense. Anyways, it's clear that this show has a lot of potential, and with JJK and My Hero Academia's manga both ending and the anime is also coming to a close, I'm happy that something new, fresh with a lot of potential is stepping up. And hey, like I said, I'm gonna be more consistent going forward, so make
No, you don't.
To Be Hero X might be one of the most refreshing new gen animes I've watched this year. I went into it almost completely blind, and seeing them go from an arcane aesthetic to like this Cartoon Network Scissor 7 style of animation in the middle of a fight genuinely had me flabbergasted.
This is just another puzzle. You've thrown worse at me, Miss J.
I have no idea what you're talking about!
What the fuck happened? What happened? What happened?
It's a Chinese superhero anime that has a unique power system. A hero's strength and abilities are decided based on a trust score, which is then calculated based on how many people believe in you, which is then reflected on your wrist. So you mean to tell me that this is a superpower based completely on how much motion you have, how much clout you have? So hypothetically speaking, if you guys all subscribe to me right now, I could become X? Jokes aside though, it's a really cool concept. Imagine someone like King from One Punch Man, or hell, even Buggy from One Piece. Since everyone already believes they're extremely OP, they'd actually become the strongest hero of all time. They chose to structure it in a way that the main character changes every couple of episodes, while still having plot relevance in the story later on. So it like consistently re-engages you as the audience, always having like a new person to focus on. Anyways, let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit different right now. I'm so ill, but I promise to stay consistent, so here I am. It starts with the Berserker from Fate Stay Night having a squabble with Homelander, but turns out it's just an advertisement for the superhero called Nice, made by our main character Ling Ling. The advert honestly looked good, but Alien Coulson wasn't messing with it because it promoted the possibility of anyone becoming the Hero X, as he straight up begins to cuss him out.
You ain't never gonna be shit. Your mama wasn't shit. Your daddy wasn't shit. You think you gonna be some shit?
He ends up firing bro, so Lin Lin goes to the roof where he sees a celebrity crush on the billboard who's currently in a relationship with Nice. He's jealous of him, so he sticks up his pinky finger, and this just unlocked a whole childhood memory of me in elementary school using my pinky instead of my middle finger because it was meant to be the same thing in China. I thought it was just folklore, but the whole time it was actually true. But as he does that, Nice flies down, and I thought we were gonna have a recreation of that one Homelander scene where he tells the suicidal girl to jump off a building, but nah, this light-skinned Aura walks towards Ling Ling, hits him with the double gun fingers before genuinely offing himself. Like, I know I shouldn't laugh, but what? It's been like 3 minutes. Nice's manager pulls up looking for him and apprehends Lin Lin since he's now a witness. Cauliflower from One Piece is tweaking since their top of the line talent just decided to commit seppuku for whatever reason. But as she's interrogating Ling Ling, she realizes they low-key look the same, as the next scene just cuts to Ling Ling becoming the new Nice. Normally this wouldn't work with a conventional power system, but since the trust system is all based on belief, it actually doesn't matter who plays Nice. As long as the people think it's the same person, the powers will be transferred. They manipulate the story and made it so that it was actually Ling Ling who jumped, practically erasing Bro from existence. And after some training, performances, and media appearances, Ling Ling has become nice. This low-key reminds me of that one iconic Nike advert called The Switch. If you know, you know. It's time for him to link up with his fan shit because they are going on some couples TV show. The usual host couldn't make it, so this hero named Enlighter, who's ranked 249th in the hero rankings, will be taking over. They start the quiz, and since it's being live broadcasted, it's important to keep up appearances. However, this redditor over here figured out that Ling Ling isn't really nice and wants to expose him, so took over the show and asked him a bunch of nonsense questions to bring down his trust score. He asked him some bullshit like how many commercials has Moon been in, but because Ling Ling was on the marketing team for Moon and Nice, he actually knows the answers to all of the questions, which makes B-Tech Miyamura extremely angry. This whole thing actually made Nice's trust score go up even more because all the Twitter fangirls get to see their favorite ships at sail. So in their last resort, Bro brings out Ling Ling's old boss because after they made it seem like Ling Ling offed himself, he lost his job. So Bro's trying to get back at Nice. This venom-like substance starts oozing out his body as he equips his whip, moving like Trevor Belmont. He follows up with a Magneto ult, but Nice dodges it as he continues to weave all his hits and lands an Orewada striker that straight to the chest, sending him flying. Nice's management team don't even care about the squabble since it's going viral on social media and just increasing his trust score. And you know, that's cool and all, but how is this Japanese salaryman keeping up with anime Superman in hand-to-hand combat? Look at his hairline, he gotta be pushing 50. That's when they explain that as well as the trust score system, there is also fear, and fear acts as a counter to trust, which can make you equally as strong if you acquire enough of it. I'm guessing, like, I don't know, this is so cool. The salaryman turns his goldness into Nejire, charging at Nice just to get chopped down in one hit the same way Saitama did Garo. He launches another AoE attack, which must have been the equivalent of him going Super Saiyan because he started to take absolutely zero damage from Nice. His suit looks like the Hulk Buster and even has the Iron Man Unibeam. Fear might look to be even more powerful than Trust.
Damn,
Nice
I
is
got
being
2 days to
absorbed by the
watch now
fear,
because
but
of this
as he
dude.
gets a flashback, the animation switches to something straight out of Cartoon Network. Nice locks in, fighting off all the demons and chooses to be a hero. He balls his fist and deflects the dark energy beam, walking down his boss and socking him in the stomach as he transforms back to base form. Sensational. He saved the day, kept his shorty, and gets to go home to his mansion. We gotta be grateful this power system doesn't exist in real life. People already do some of the dumbest shit just to get a couple of likes on TikTok. Now imagine it meant they'd get superpowers too.
Cracker got an AR, like he's shooting schools up. Yellow wide body, Hellcat look like a school bus. Throw up in that water, I ain't had no scuba. Clap on my lap, up and blow like a tuba. You just a hating bitch, guys don't give two fucks. You just like to talk a lot, you ain't finna.
We found out some more lore about Moon. She was a country girl travel vlogger that would travel around and experience the world. Sounds pretty peak. After gaining a big following, she gained the power of teleportation since her followers wanted her to travel to more places. One day, Nice saved her from a car crash and the internet turned into My Hero Academia fans, shipping them together so much that their managers arranged so that they would start dating. Damn. Yo, imagine shippers had this type of power. You do something nice for your homie and next thing you know, you two are getting shit on Media Talk. It's raps. Moon must agree because as we see them behind closed doors, it's clear that she does not mess with Bro at all. It might be because she found out that he's a fake, but I'm pretty sure she also didn't care about the original Nice because she didn't even like bat an eye at finding out that Bro was dead. Moon has been pretending to be Nice's girlfriend for 3 years and has been trying to get out of it, but because she signed that 360 could have been Record's contract, they basically own her and now they want her and Nice to get married. Look at Ling Ling, bro, he's just happy to be there.
Of course. Do you love the way I do when I love nobody?
Boy, if you
And hey, I can't even blame him. Dr. Uma is gonna have to let this one slide for the one time. This is some elite milk. They get locked in the room until Moon agrees to the marriage. So she decides to show her true colors, and this is literally that one Lego Batman meme. This man Ling Ling is in love. You know, Moon kind of reminds me of Karuizawa from Classroom of the Elite. I don't know. They spend some time together and they are beginning to grow on each other. This might even work out. Ling Ling asks why she can't just use her teleporting powers to leave this place. But because the people wanted to be by Nice's side, her powers have been completely altered and now all she can do is teleport to where Nice is at. That's wild. So your entire moveset can just get reworked based on the belief of the people. On that note, YouTube has been testing this new hype feature. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you hype it so I get boosted in the algorithm. I'll be sure to use my powers for good when the time comes. They end up being stuck in a mansion together for a whole month with no PS5, no air fryer, no phone, no internet, just them. I genuinely think I might go insane. But Mrs. J was low-key cooking because she says that spending that much time together without any other distractions is bound to get them to fall in love, as the next scene just cuts to them actually getting married. Kidding? Yeah, after spending weeks stuck in there, Ling Ling thought he had enough prep time, so asks if she wants to give the marriage thing a try. But obviously, she still ain't with that, which is fair, so he comes with a new plan where they can stage a fight where Moon gets killed so the fans think she's dead, allowing her to be freed. So as we cut back to the wedding, this guy called Rek, who's supposed to be Nice's arch nemesis, says he objects to the marriage, and I quote, "If I can't have you, no one can." This is how I might have to intervene at my homie's wedding, when he gives his speech and says that she's the funniest person he's ever met. Nice tells him to leave, but bro leaps 12 feet into the air and goes for a down heavy of doom and despair. Nice dodges as they clash and he pushes them all the way into a stage change. It seems like the villain has gone rogue, because I think he still thinks that Ling Ling is the real Nice. It's clear they had a close relationship. Mrs. J tries to calm bro down, but he's not trying to hear all that, so imbues his black blade with lightning, earth-bending the terrain to something that looks straight out of Xenoblade Chronicles. Rek takes off his mask and threatens to kill Moon, who still hasn't realized that this man is completely serious if he doesn't tell him where the real Nice is. So Ling Ling tells him that the real Nice offed himself, and that shit had homeboy distraught. Man, I fell onto my knees when the law came. Rek goes berserk and starts launching his black lightning AoE attacks. Mrs. J tells them to abort the mission, but Ling Ling got other plans, as once again the animation slowly fades into 2D. He goes to close the distance, dodges the Gatsuga Tencho, dodges the earth bending, picking up Moon as they continue to parkour towards Rek. They activate their team up ability and Moon begins applying full court pressure. Okay. She TPs with the deep kick, free falls from the top rope, landing on his sword as they begin JJK jumping the deepest creepers out of him. This is probably how Hanami felt fighting against Yuji and Todo. 99 chemistry, straight green links. He says bet and charges up another Gatsuga Tencho that disperses into many energy balls raining down like Radan's gravity attacks. They come out unscathed as Moon alley-oops Nice for the nastiest Detroit smash I've seen since Prime All Might. Look at the impact frames. Hit my boy so hard the animation returned to 3D. Damn. We get a flashback from Rek and it's honestly kinda tragic. Him and the original Nice used to be best friends that wanted to become heroes together, but after signing that 360, the scripts turned them into enemies. They were still homies behind the scenes, but even he wasn't aware of the mental torment Nice was going through, because one day he stopped replying to his text messages. Hey bro, just take this as a sign to check up on your peoples. You never know what someone is going through, even if they're smiling on the outside. Being a hero in 2B Hero X is less like being a conventional hero like a Spider-Man or a Superman, but I would honestly say that it's more akin to being a hero in The Boys. Like the politics, the fabrication, the money, it all takes the authenticity away from the actual point of being a hero. So that probably took like a mental toll on Nice, so he just decided to give up. We turn back to Moon, who's taking the opportunity to fake her death, and even though it's not a real death scene, seeing Nice break down, knowing that he genuinely loved her, still hit home. Unrequited love just seems so painful. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like damn, look at her, she's all happy and smiling, and her powers also got freed now since she's no longer Nice's girlfriend. They say their goodbyes and go their separate ways. We cut over to the Redditor and bro is still obsessed with Nice. Like let it go, bruh. You're not him. He did end up figuring out that Ling Ling is now Nice, but then he ends up talking to this octopus that tells him he understands him and offers him the power of fear to become stronger. Like, okay. Nice is still recovering from losing a baddie, but Mrs. J reminds him that he should focus on breaking into the top 10 hero rankings. They are planning on beating this villain called Wolf Girl, who's the arch nemesis of Furman, so they can take his spot. Furman is this old school hero that used to be a firefighter that managed to hold up a burning building and save a little girl. That caused his trust value to skyrocket, and after accidentally taking out Esau's arch nemesis, he landed himself in the top 10. You know, I kind of mess with him. He reminds me of like Luke Cage. Anyways, Mrs. J and Nice go to Wolf Girl's hideout and she explains a bit of her powers, and she basically prints out propaganda to ruin people's perspective of heroes, which lowers their trust score. So you mean to tell me that once again power scaling Son takes another W? You know, this basically just means that a power scaling Son with enough Twitter clout can completely debunk a hero's trust value. Dragon Ball fans are gonna have every single hero on Fraud Watch, bruh. Imagine the devastation a gender piece or lobotomy Kaizen could cause in the world of 2B Hero X.
My back! My back!
My bad. I went on a whole tangent. Nice to the area, finds Wolfgirl's hideout and figured out it's a trap. She rigged explosions to blow up Furman's statue. Furman catches it, saving the little girl, but Wolfgirl pops out the ground, grabbing her. Wolfgirl has Furman in a fork. When the king is in check and another valuable piece is also in line of sight, he gotta make a decision on what he wants to sacrifice, the statue or the girl. And not gonna lie, this is crazy. Just drop the damn statue and save the girl. That's when Nice pulls up and it's revealed that Wolfgirl was the same little girl he was saved by Furman in the burning building. But watching him become less of a hero and more of a corporate shill and a cop-out, she decided to become a villain to tear him down. Long story short, she basically turned into Syndrome from The Incredibles. After Furman realizes what he has become, he loses all his strength and my goat Nice swoops in with his increasing trust value, basically absorbing Furman's powers and saving the day. That allowed him to officially enter the top 10 hero rankings. Nice is having a conflict of personality, unsure as to who he wants to be. Seems like he needs a nice long talk with Uncle Iroh. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want? I just wanted an excuse to put that in. This is one of my favorite speeches of all time. Anyways, as he's looking out the window, the Redditor... Oh wait. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
How did he break in?
Yeah, apparently he wants to be referred to as God-Eye. Yeah, me is not calling you that, bro. The Redditor who got some new fear powers pulls back up and exposes Moon for still being alive to the world. This causes Nice's trust value to keep plummeting, but as we know, Ling Ling doesn't care. So he tries to go save Moon anyway, but because the fans don't want him to go save Moon, he's physically unable to. The Hero Association sends in a backup hero to handle it called Blankster, a 6'7", dark-skinned demon, rocking the gauntlets from Arcane. He charges up a right hook but gets blocked by these nanobots like that one guy from Big Hero 6. He evades the 5-piece combo and tries to close the distance, eventually breaking the guard and landing a clean hit. That's when they tell us that these gloves also have the ability to wipe memories with each hit. That's an insane power. The Redditor is kinda locked in though and analyzes his fight style like Tony Stark versus Captain America. He posts a leaked article of Blankster apparently having cheated in one of his amateur boxing matches, which causes his trust score to absolutely plummet. The mind games are dark. Blankster is not doing good at all. He gets knocked out by the Redditor, and imagine that article was just fake news and the people just fell for some misinformation. Like, can someone explain to me in the comments why trust score just dropped so quickly based on almost nothing? They are all just a bunch of fake fans. I know the Senshi Pirates would never. They intercept the broadcast and play Ling Ling's To Be Hero X advert that he showed us in the first episode, which inspires him to try and go save Moon. But with every step he takes, he loses his power. His trust score drops down even more and eventually transforms back to base. Damn, Ling Ling is back. Even though he came to peace with himself and accepted that he wanted to be a real hero, he's still just Ling Ling, you know? 0 badges, 64 rated bronze player. He aura walks towards the Redditor, but just gets boomed straight away. He gets up and tries to punch him, but gets boomed again and again and again. I'm feeling like Bucky Barnes. Ling Ling refuses to give up, moving like prime Captain America. This is beautiful. He's getting bodied on live television, and it seems like the Redditor is about to deal the final blow. Ling Ling confesses his love for Moon, and Tanjiro headbutts him, breaking his nanotechnology. He sucks him in his jaw and hits him with a Kaiser impact as the animation switches to 2D, giving Ling Ling a boost in his trust score because the people are beginning to rally behind his relentless unwillingness to give up. He's going viral on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
Oh my God,
and I don't know what it is, but just seeing bro charge up one more Detroit Smash like All Might versus All for One, and then seeing the animation return to manga format just has me so insanely hyped. The Redditor has been packed, so Ling Ling can go and reunite with his shorty.
I know what my heart wants. What the? We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'll be damned. This might be the most generational pump fake of all time. Had me fooled. I can't even lie. Some time passes and Lin Lin is now the new Nice and remains in the top 10 hero rankings. We cut over to Moon, who's been stuck on this abandoned island because she forgot her teleportation weapon. She's just been here trying to get someone to save her, and that's when my goat Ling Ling shows up and saves her. We finally got ourselves a happy ending. He gets to be the hero and he gets to keep the girl.
Ooh.
What? The this shit had me just as perplexed as you, bro. What the fuck is happening? Who is this Ben 10 XLR8 looking ass nigga, bro? And why did he Toji Moon? This was a cliffhanger of doom and despair, just for the next episode to cut over to a whole new main character who got his parents killed by traffickers? What's going on? Luckily, this hero with electricity power shows up and saves him. And hold up, don't tell me he was the one who offed Ling Ling's fine shit. Look at them side by side. Coincidence? I think not. We get a 16-year time skip on the kid, and bro kinda looks like Max McGrath from Max Steel. If you know, you know. That show used to bang. He got a crush on this girl, but don't got the confidence to ask her out. On the side, he performs at kids' birthday parties as the hero we saw earlier called Iso. I can't even lie, even the costume kinda looks like Max Steel's, like his base form costume. I'm just saying, maybe there was a little inspiration. After the performance, this little kid says his buns, but turns out that the kid was his crush's brother. But she doesn't know that Yang Chen is playing Iso and asks him to meet up. This is like when MJ kissed Spider-Man without knowing it's Peter. It's nothing crazy though. She just asks him to hang out with his little brother since he has no friends. They kinda start becoming friends as Yang Chen prepares for this Iso competition thing. Fast forward and he makes it to the 3rd round before getting voted out because he has a trust score of 0, which is meant to be like an unheard of thing. Everyone always has someone that trusts them, like their parents, but because his parents got offed, he has no one. Sha Qing runs into Yang Chen and asks if he wants to go to a Lucky Cyan concert together with Shang Chao. Damn, it seems like he likes her, but his homie also likes her, and he thinks that she likes his homie because he's hella successful and rich. But low-key, I think she likes Yang Chen. This is why I live by the motto, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Sometimes you just gotta let it fly and not worry about superficial things like rejection. My fear of regret is far bigger than my fear of failure. We cut to the next scene and he's sulking in his Iso costume when the little brother says he's going to tell his sister that Yang Chen is the Iso cosplayer when they get snuck. Yo. This is gonna be a speedrun record for kidnapping. They wasted no time. Yang Chen wakes up and holds them down on his bike, and the fact that he's even keeping up is kinda crazy. Biking like broski from Happy Wheels. Dom Toretto will pull some shit like this and say it was all because of family. He managed to grab the kid, but the bandits catch up to him, putting belt to ass. Nah, Ponytail is Sneak Nation certified. It got blocked, but they set this combo up mad quick. He refuses to give up and continues to protect the kid, grabbing onto both bandits and electrocuting them. The kid he's saving screams out in pure belief, giving him his first trust score, heavily boosting his stats. It's still only 1 trust, but it's enough to clean up those bums as he charges up an electrified punch, knocking them both out.
What?
He returns the brother to his crush when she asks to know his name, and right as he's having his big I am Iron Man moment, his homeboy pulls up. He tries to dip out, but his homie calls him by his name and says that he's here to see him. Apparently the bystanders who recorded him fighting those thugs posted it on social media, increasing his trust score an insane amount. Now that he has his newfound popularity, his homeboy Song Cho decides to become his manager and supporter, as well as his crush Cha Ching. Bro, I am butchering these names, alright? Don't get at me in the comments. They basically go on a giant promotional tour, fighting bad guys, doing promo, and just boosting his rep until it's become an arms race. Old versus young, Lamine Yamal versus Cristiano Ronaldo, Boruto versus Naruto. I'm not gonna lie, his homie is low-key a real one, bro. This man is supporting his day one like Ned to Peter. He's like the guy in the chair. I actually like him. Some time passes and the politics has landed because he gets framed for staging the kidnapping that made him popular, which causes his trust value to drop. The OG Iso's management team basically tried hitting bro with the DMCA copyright claim and want bro to give up on being Iso. They are basically having a court-style debate to prove Yang Chan's innocence when the Redditor? Okay. So I see this must be like a prequel to the Nice and Ling Ling saga. He helps Iso and basically rises proof that Yang Chen didn't do anything and he was being set up, which has seemed to work. But this is actually weird because if this is technically a prequel and we saw Iso smoke Ling Ling's girlfriend, does that mean that either the OG Iso or Yang Chen was the one who packed her up? Like I got so many questions. We cut over to Sha Qing and Yang Chen getting some development in their relationship when this guy in Balenciagas and a Blicky pulls up on So Chung and Swiss cheeses him because he thinks it's Young Chun since he's wearing the same mask. And hold up, is that Ponytail? Oh hell nah, bruh. Young Chen wasn't able to save his day one because he wasn't fast enough. Damn, my The Boys comparison from earlier isn't even starting to sound that crazy. This superhero business is cruel, man. Young Chen has a rage in his eyes. He goes to speak to Song Cho's father and tells him that he's sorry, but instead of consoling him, he says that if he's truly sorry, he should avenge him. What in the Itachi Uchi? Bro trying to turn him into a demon. The Redditor tells him that he believes Esau may have been involved in the killing of his homie, and he was on timing from then onwards. He instantly hopped on the news and challenged Esau to a squabble for the #1 spot, and that had the whole world shook. Had the streamers out here power scaling. This is how Buggy was moving live streaming Marineford.
Hey, that nigga Esau only got one arm, chat. I don't know if he gonna win this one. Who he feeling like, Shanks?
Young Chen is training with his girl and his uncle, and they are trying to come up with a strategy to win. Shaching is worried about him, as it's clear that he's got hella hatred in his heart right now. Anyways, a few days go by, and they both pull up on timing as the animation switches to a modern 2D anime. Hatsune Miku? What the hell? Anyways, Chen goes in for the speed blitz head kick, but Esau just stands there, unfazed, before Chen unleashes a barrage of punches, not even slightly moving OG Esau, who's feeling like Gaara. He got that impenetrable defense. He finally decides to counter and uses Haku's ice charge, taking chip damage and pushing Chen back. They start moving like Dragon Ball characters, going blow for blow, when Esau creates a lightning whip, landing a 3-piece combo on Chen, sending him flying. Chen uses some long range blaster hits, but Esau's defense is simply too overpowered. It's not even a close match. Chen is just getting ragdolled, but just as it seemed like it was gonna be a clean sweep, Esau gets a call from his manager saying that his fans want to see him use the Thunder Slash, which is supposed to be this overpowered move that leaves him on a long cooldown afterwards. It seems like Gramps made a bunch of Twitter burner accounts to start propaganda online. W prep time. Chen gets up, but he's not doing so good. He equips his Angel Beat Slayer and goes in to close the distance, but he simply can't beat the defense. The animation is beautiful, as it low-key seems like Chen is getting faster and faster. He charges up another attack and actually manages to chip apart some of Esau's shield. He keeps up the pressure with an uppercut, actually forcing Esau to fight back. They are going blow for blow, band for band, as Chen's trust score just continues to rise. They are at a stalemate, so finally he drops his defense, raises his arm into the sky like the god of thunder, and calls in Sasuke's Kirin. Chen gets ready and charges up to the max, damn near tapping into the speed force, damn near looking like Prime Sonic. As they both go in with 100% of their power, a giant explosion happens, and we just cut over to a completely destroyed arena, and Chen emerging victorious, killing Esau and taking over his trust value. Damn, bruh. He got his revenge, but at what cost? His girl don't even mess with him no more. And hold on, is that Ankh? Wait. You mean to tell me this man eyes-and everything, from the kidnapping to the killing of both Sung Sho and paying off the kidnappers? He actually orchestrated everything. Who is this man? Ayano Koji? I'm genuinely perplexed. Like, what does it all mean? What's the point? Wow. So much packed into such a short amount of episodes, yet the story is so amazing. Like, I don't know what it is, but the Chinese have been cooking lately. Scissor 7, Super Cube, Lord of Mysteries, and now
Scissor 7 is really good.
Hey, all I can say
Scissor
is
7
keep coming.
really good.
But yeah, that's it from me. I told you guys, consistent Senshi is here, so make sure you subscribe and use that new hype feature to hype up the video. And
on to my boy. Yeah.
Shut your clanker ass up, people.
I got this!
Something's wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man.
Come here, boy!
Oh.
Nigga was the devil, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Hold up. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty.
to a brand new series on the channel, The Forbidden Files. Now let me quickly explain to y'all what this is. These are not trials. These are files in cases for characters that quite honestly don't even need a trial. This is the new tier called the Forbidden tier, and it is strictly reserved for legends of the game. And we're starting this series off with a character that was so disgustingly broken, he had to get nerfed. And that is none other than 2003 General Grievous. This nigga Grievous in 03 was the devil in animated form. Niggas talk about 03 Grievous like niggas talk about Vaughn. Like, this dude was a Jedi killing machine that was non-force sensitive, by the way. Like, for real, deadass, bro. If he wanted you out of there, he'd go do it himself, on feet by himself. The nigga straight up had to go. And let me just give y'all a warning right now before we even start. If you have only seen Grievous from Revenge of the Sith in 3D Clone Wars and have never seen this man in the 2D version, then woo, you're in for a ride. So let's not waste no more time. Without further ado. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Case 1, sliming out multiple Jedi at once. Now this right here was Grievous's first appearance in any type of Star Wars media. And man, I'll tell you, boy, this on record has to be one of the craziest character debuts of all time. So this is how this went down. While Anakin and Obi-Wan was finishing up a mission on this one planet, they get hailed from this one Jedi Master. And this man is fighting for his life and panicking. Bro was on the line like, General Kenobi, we need immediate evac. This new droid General, he's unstoppable. Oh God, what the hell? And the next thing that you see when they swap to that planet is this man falling over and dying, and Grievous stomping the communicator in the ground. The first time you ever catch a glimpse of this demon is him booming a Jedi Master. Not just a regular Jedi Knight, a whole ass master. That is fucking horrifying. Now let's continue. The other Jedi that are with the Master that just got boomed are being completely surrounded by an army of droids. So while they had them completely surrounded at this abandoned ship, Grievous makes them cease fire. And after he made all the droids stop shooting, this man got on the mic and said, "Attention, Jedi scum! You are surrounded by the glorious Separatist army! Now I could have my character swift tease you right now, but that would be the fun in that. So I, General Grievous, will personally come in there and surround you niggas out myself. Prepare
He was wild.
for your impending doom,
Yeah, he was wild.
So after Grievous
Yeah, he was wild. It was bad. He was killing everybody.
The Jedi himself.
He
They
did
all
not
start
care.
taking
He was
position and
killing
getting
people.
prepared for this nigga. Because Grievous is walking towards them right
He
now.
was killing
And
the
let me
shit
say
out of
this real
people.
quick. The Jedi in here are no pushovers. Especially these three. Longhead ass Kiadi Mundi, who is a member of the Jedi Council, Shakti, who was a pain in the ass to fight in the Force Unleashed. And Ayla Secura, the alien shorty that took like 10,000 backshots from clones in Revenge of the Sith. Like, these are known Jedi Masters. And the fact that this man Grievous had this long head ass motherfucker sweating bullets is insane. So while Grievous was approaching them, all they could hear was his footsteps echoing around the wreckage. They couldn't tell where this dude was at all. So this is where the insanity begins. This poor Padawan that looks like Shaggy, and believe it or not, his name is actually Shaggy. Not gonna lie, when I first watched this, I was like, why does this dude look like Shaggy? And boy, oh boy, come to find out, this actually is a Jedi version of Shaggy. Like, that is just hilarious to me, bro. But anyways, while Grievous's footsteps got louder and louder, Shaggy, being the same scary ass nigga in Star Wars as well, ended up losing his composure. So he runs outside just to get squashed by this nigga Grievous. Yeah, R.I.P. Shaggy. That is one of the most insane deaths I've ever
Crushed
seen.
him, bro.
This nigga Grievous jumped from the top rope and squashed him. Knocked the sonic rings out that nigga. If you pay attention very closely, his entire body disappeared. That means the impact of that fall was so hard, his carcass was squished into the ground. His body was literally unrecoverable. So after Grievous squashed Shaggy, he starts towering over all the Jedi and laughing at their asses. Then shows them his 10-foot mechanical body and then just disappears. These niggas were shook because this just turned into a survival horde. Grievous really started playing Dead by Daylight with these niggas, just toying with them while he was ready to hunt them down one by one. So while they were moving back with their backs against each other, you see this nigga appear out of the shadows like Batman hanging from the roof. Dude is literally looking over them, stalking his prey. So Grievous finally decided he was ready to get active. He jumps from the roof and starts going to town on these niggas, fighting the whole 1v5 and enjoying every second of it. And dude, this man is a literal cheat code. He can turn his body into a Beyblade. This is the most unfair shit I've ever seen. Like, for real, how the hell are you supposed to fight a 10-foot cyborg that can move his body like a Beyblade? Oh, and guess what? That's not all he can do, because this is about to get even more insane. He started breakdancing on their asses, fighting them with his feet. No way in hell a 10-foot cyborg should be moving like this. No, twin, nuh-uh. I'll be for real, bro. If I saw this shit, I'd put the saber down, bro. I wholeheartedly understand why George Lucas nerfed this nigga. So as the fight continued, long-head-ass Ki-Adi-Mundi tried to force push, bro, but Grievous dodged it and landed on the side of the roof. So this is when Grievous decided to start singling them out. He jumps back in and hits the ground so hard he made a smoke screen. So this wildebeest-looking nigga decided to go in and try to fight him one-on-one, but Grievous pulls off a crazy move. He blocks his attack, and when old boy tried to swing at him again, he dropped his saber, cut him across the middle with his green one, then just slimed this nigga with his other one. Bro boomed that musty-ass wildebeest immediately when he was 1v1 with him. So after the wildebeest Yeti hybrid got boomed, Shakti decides to throw a bunch of scrap at him. But Grievous ends up cutting through all of it. Then this one Jedi tries to pull up on him. I'ma refer to him as Yeet because the nigga got a turban on his head. Grievous grabs his elongated head with his grippers and slams bro's head into the ground, breaking his neck on impact. Bro didn't stand a chance. He didn't even get to swing the saber. His last seconds of life was him getting his face gripped by this man's foot, then eating dirt right after that. But old boy wasn't the only person to get his face gripped, because after Grievous boomed him, Ayla came in trying to swing, but Grievous gripped her face mid-air, then swapped both of their bodies. Because after his last seconds of life was him getting his face gripped by this man's foot, then eating dirt right after that. But old boy wasn't the only person to get his face gripped, because after Grievous boomed him, Ayla came in trying to swing, but Grievous gripped her face mid-air, then swapped both of their bodies across the map with his feet. That has got to be one of the most insane ways to slime a nigga. Sending them flying with your feet is OD. So the last two Jedi remaining were Longhead Ki-Adi and Shakti. So Grievous ended up zoning them both out of their range. Then he drop kicks Ki-Adi's ass across the stage, taking him out of the fight. And this just left Grievous one-on-one with Shakti. And he was pushing her shit. She was panicking, barely holding on and blocking his strikes. So he ended up knocking the saber out of her hands. Then he comes in to swing on her, but Shakti barely blocks this with the force and gets sent flying into a pillar, and she is out of commission. So the last man standing was Ki-Adi-Mundi with his elongated, dingling head. So Grievous grabbed Shakti's saber and picked it up with his foot. And he was staring at this Ki-Adi, laughing at his ass like, "You fool with your elongated head.
Shut the
Betraying your Jedi arts by Count Dooku." So after Grievous finished taunting this man, he ends up pushing Ki-Adi and knocking the saber out of his hands immediately. And Grievous ends up going in for the kill. But at the last millisecond, Ki-Adi ends up getting bailed out by the clones. And the clones looked at that boy Grievous and said, "Troopers, blast that half-breed clanker." So they start shooting at Grievous, and Grievous hits the dash, while the clones are blasting every single piece of ammo that they have at this man. So while they continue trying to shoot bro down, Grievous decides to drop in and starts to murder all of the clones in front of him. So after Grievous ended up mowing down the whole front line, the whole gunship ends up pulling up right in front of his face. And And this is when Grievous finally decided to make a strategic retreat. So Grievous ends up hitting the dash again. That man is out of there. I know his 40-yard dash speed is fast as hell. And Kiadi and the clones end up retreating. So yeah, that right there was General Grievous's first ever appearance. So let's review this carnage that he caused. He crushed Shaggy into oblivion, put Wildebeest nigga up on a shirt, gripped Yeet with his feet, and broke his neck, and threw their asses across the ship with his feet, and damn near killing Shock T along with Kiadi Mundi. Oh no, we got old boy at the beginning that got boomed on the communicator, along with his entire battalion. So yeah, this man packed up 4 Jedi, put Ayla and Shock T on a stretcher, and had Kiadi's ass rethinking life. This is one of the nastiest debuts a character has ever had to date. So yeah, and guess what? That was only case 1. We still got another case left. And boy, let me tell you, it gets even crazier.
Oh, shit.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on
Not
to
just
case
using
2, the siege on Coruscant.
music.
Now, what you're about to see are the events that basically open up episode 3. Even though this series is now considered Legends continuity, this is still kind of what basically happened. So how this went down. This evil-ass conniving nigga Palpatine sent this man Grievous to invade Coruscant and capture him. So the Separatists end up pulling up to Coruscant, and a massive battle just ensues. Now, before we get to Grievous, we gotta take a detour real quick, because this is one of the hardest moments in Star Wars history. This nigga Captain Fordo was popping off this battle. Nigga turned into the Doomslayer. Just look at this shit. Him and his squad are being overran, but he didn't care. Bro boomed the battle droid in front, turned around, smacked this nigga, dumped the clip in his ass, then he throws his gun at this droid, blows his head off, then picked up his blaster in his left hand and started mowing these niggas down. Like, nah, bro. You know this man was top of the leaderboard in every single Battlefront lobby. Bro just dropped off 20 droids in the span of 20 seconds. So while the battle continued and Captain Fordo was running up the scoreboard, we see this nigga Palpatine watching the battle and sipping tea, not giving a care in the world. This man doesn't care at all what is happening right now. He's just looking at all this shit like, good, I orchestrated all this shit. I don't give a damn what's happening, nigga. So while Palpatine was enjoying his tea, Shock T, a bunch of troopers and 2 Jedi end up pulling up with her. And they're trying to get this man Palpatine to safety. But Palpatine was just stalling and acting like, oh, Master Shock T, greetings. Would you like to enjoy some tea with me while I watch the battle? And she like, no, old ass nigga, I'm trying to get your ass to safety. But while they continued to stay in this room, they started hearing footsteps around the room. And when they started getting louder, Shock T knew immediately who this was.
Get down, Mr. President!
Hi, how are you?
So he breaks in the window, letting himself right in the room. And look at this mechanical, lanky-ass nigga ore farming. Bro really had to hit a whole JoJo's pose before he started dropping niggas off. So this nigga Grievous looking at Palpatine like,
greetings, Master, I've come to pick you up.
Shut the fuck up. You mechanical Nimrod. They're not supposed to know that shit till the 3rd movie.
I'm sorry, Lucius.
Now capture me and make it look believable. So Grievous tries to grab him, but Shock T pulls him away. And they end up taking Palpatine, and Grievous is surrounded by about 20 clones. But bro didn't care that he was surrounded at all. Dude was actually ecstatic, because now he can let loose and kill some niggas. So the clones start firing, and Grievous jumps up and immediately starts mowing every clone in that room down. Look at what he does to this one dude. He grabs him and plants him on the wall, then just slices him down the middle. And I'm not gonna lie, this next guy got done dirty even worse. Grievous slices bro's gun in half. Then he grabs him by the leg with his own leg, then throws him out the window. Nah, bro, that is one of the worst ways to ever go out. Bro grabbed his leg with his own leg, then sent him flying, and he's gonna fall for like 100 floors before he goes splat. Oh, man, rip that guy, bro. So as he continued to murder everybody in this room and make this clone look up to the sky to see God, we get to one of the nastiest kills of all time. Grievous grabs this one clone by his face with his grippers, then slams his skull into the wall. Oh, dear God, that might be worse than the guy that fell 100 floors. If you look to the right, you can see the horror on this one clone's face. You don't even see his face, but you can tell just by the look. If I saw one of my homies get slimed like that, I'ma be real, I wouldn't know what to do. At this point, just put the gun down and accept your fate, or just run. Those are your only options. Look what happens to this royal guard. Bro grabs him with his grippers, starts using him as a body shield, then slams his body on the ground. These clones are having some of the most horrific deaths I've ever seen, because this is just getting ridiculous. So Grievous just continued to murder everyone in that room. Those clones stood zero chance against this man. They were literally used as meat shields so Shock T and them could get away. So while they was waiting by the elevator, all they could hear were just the screams of everybody getting murdered in there. Look at this one Jedi. He is spamming the button trying to get the elevator to come up. Because dude is horrified of what he's hearing in there. So when the scream stopped, they knew the head start that they got was over. Grievous busts through the door on all fours, running at them like a rabid dog while dodging multiple force pushes. So Shock T ends up finally hitting them, buying them some time to get in the elevator, but that didn't put Grievous down at all. So later on, after they escape, they're all taking this high-speed elevator down to the ground. So they thought they were safe. They thought they had time to breathe, but that lasted for a whopping 10 seconds. They look to the right, and this nigga Grievous is running down the building. Oh my God! He is running down a building, keeping up with a high-speed elevator. Like, no, bro, no, man. This has got to be another reason why George Lucas nerfed this, man, because this is ridiculous. So this one clone said, nah, twin, fuck this shit. He just decides to shoot a rocket launcher at him. And I'm not gonna lie, was that warranted? Yes! I mean, they gotta try something to stop this man. So when they finally reach the ground floor, they are surrounded by a bunch of super battle droids. And Grievous just drops from the building right in front of them. So Mr. Manslug nigga decides to use a force howl, but Grievous was prepared this time. He uses those damn grippers, digs in the ground, and starts moving through the house. They was trying every trick in the book and couldn't stop this man at all. So they just decided to run. There was no point in fighting him. So while they was on the run, Grievous's Magna Guards end up killing the final two clones. So the only ones that were left standing protecting Palpatine was Shock T and the other two Jedi. So they were having to run for their lives through the city while Grievous and his Magna Guards were chasing them. And this whole chase was just insane. They went from fighting on a ship to Grievous just destroying it, making it crash in the middle of the city. Then they ended up fighting in a subway station. And I'm not gonna lie, this next scene had to be one of the most terrifying scenes of all time. When they thought they were safe behind this train, this man Grievous pops up right behind them. Jump scare of doom. So he starts walking them down and pushing them back, then kicks both of the two Jedi to the side. So he ends up walking up to Shock T and telling her,
"Salutations, Jedi scum! You may have escaped from me before, but today you will be slimed!"
But Shock T ends up pulling off a 10,000 IQ big brain
Yo.
play. She used the force to wrap this man's cape around the train. So when the train was ready to go, Grievous just gets yoinked. And this finally brought them some time to escape from this man. So about a good 20 minutes passed, and they think that they finally shaken Grievous.
No.
Shock T ended up splitting up from him, and the other two Jedi ended up taking Palpatine to his bunker so he could be safe. So when they got in there and locked all the doors, they thought that they were in the clear, but they were soon about to realize not even getting bumped by a high-speed train would stop this nigga. Grievous was waiting for them in that room the entire time. So he drops down and starts fighting the other two Jedi. And while he was doing that, look at this evil, conniving motherfucker going back like, good, Grievous, good. Slime those niggas, Grievous. Put them on a shit. So while Grievous continued to fight them, they end up getting stuck in a lightsaber clash. And this is when Grievous finally revealed his trump card. The thing that he's most famous for. He pulls out the other two arms and starts using all four of them holes. And when he was using all four of his arms, they stood no chance. Grievous cuts both of them down in a heartbeat.
Damn. Yo, he really packing them up. He's really packing them up.
And it was game over for both them. So Grievous finds Palpatine, and he looking at him like,
I've done it, Lord Sidious. Are you impressed?
About fucking time, you half-breed flake. Now get me on the ship and let's fucking go. Okay, on a real note, Grievous actually never knew that Palpatine was Sidious. That is still hilarious to how oblivious he was to him. But anyways, Shaak Ti finally ends up making it to the room, but she's too late. She sees the other two Jedi dead, and Grievous holding up Palpatine, and Palpatine looking at her like, oh, hello, Shaak Ti dear. I'm having a little trouble here. Can you please help me? So Shaak Ti runs at Grievous, but he hits her saber to the side and just chokes her. So he takes her saber, adds it to his collection, then decides to give Shaak Ti some actual shock. He just electrocutes the hell out of her and just ties her up and leaves her there. So Grievous ends up taking Palpatine to his ship. But before he was about to leave, my goat, Mace motherfucking Windu nigga, came down and looked at Grievous like, you a fake demon, man, and crushes this man's sternum. Look how he had this man Grievous leaning at mercy. And this is the incident in this continuity that gave him that iconic cough. So after the ship takes off and Grievous escapes, Revenge of the Sith starts. But yeah, that's basically the end of case 2. So let's look at our final carnage report for case 2. This man launched a full invasion on Coruscant, broke into the Chancellor's room and slimed like 20 clones in the most brutal way fashion, then decided to chase the Jedi throughout the whole city, then kill 2 of them and knock out Shaak Ti for a second time.
That was too good.
This is some of the most wicked work of all time. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the end of our first ever Forbidden File. I hope everybody can clearly see and understand why this demon got nerfed. Because if he was moving like this in Revenge of the Sith in 3D Clone Wars, then dear God, the Republic would have been cooked. So yeah, 2003 General Grievous, that nigga had to go, just straight up. So with that being said, hopefully y'all enjoyed.
That was good. That was good.
Alright, bro, look. Today we're back with another episode of the Crash Out Files, and we are not just covering one person today, but an entire group. The park from regular show is just full of crash outs for some reason. Like the smallest things will send these characters on a rampage, especially Muscle Man. But before we begin, don't forget to support me and Omi, so please donate whatever you can. And if you haven't become a member of the channel yet, join. The button's right there. You get your videos early, and you see all the emotes and stuff I use in my videos. You will have access to, like, majority of them. So you can have fun in the comments. So become a member today. Anywho, sit back, relax,
push
grab a
that
bucket
shit
of popcorn as we get on to episode 2 of the Crash Out. Yeah, I'm about to take, watch out, man, I'm about to crash out. Watch out. The first case we're gonna be looking at is Rigby crashing out over getting punched. So Rigby always loses at Punchy. Like, bro, this man literally lost to Pops and Punchy. Pops doesn't have a single strand of muscle in his body. He even got his butt cheek messed up. Anywho, Rigby gets mad and goes in that room to throw a tantrum, smacking himself in the face with a book. But luckily, he finds out about Death Kwando. And turns out all you have to do is get a mullet and wear booty shorts, and voila! You're a Death Kwando master. Like, bro, this has to be the worst fit in history of fits, bro. What is this? Like, bro, you should not trust any martial arts that requires you to wear booty shorts for it to work. Like, that has to have been somebody's fetish. Like, seriously, who would want to see a raccoon in booty shorts? Took some regular jeans and ruined them. This is some zesty martial arts right here, bro. Anywho, after realizing the power, Rigby starts going insane. This man just went around punching everybody he lost to. And when he couldn't find Mordecai to punch him to death, he starts punching random ass civilians. Like, bro, this is the definition of a crash out, bro. Man's is going around destroying the entire park because he was losing and punching. Anywho, by the time Mordecai showed himself, Rigby had everybody else treating him like a king. Unfortunately for Rigby, Mordecai also learned Death Kwando, but mainly the death block, and Rigby can't really harm him. But he keeps punching until he digs a hole to the center of the earth. Like, bro, I've always had a problem with them calling this regular show, because there's nothing regular about this. Anywho, Rigby's still mad. His punches start cracking the wall, releasing lava into the hole that they're in. Mordecai, being the good guy he is, fakes being defeated, and they finally escape the hole that they were in thanks to the death jump. And that was Rigby's crash out. Now, Mordecai's crash out all happened because he's a simp. Man's killed Rigby because he had 0 wrist. When Rigby notices this nigga has no wrist, he starts showing out, and he gets Margaret to go to the movies with him. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, he starts acting like a complete ass. Every chance he gets to make fun of Mordecai, he does it. And then it happened. It's time for his date, and he finds this nigga Mordecai sitting down watching static on the TV. All right, short lesson with JP. If you make one of your homies mad and you catch them watching static on the TV, especially nowadays, bro, do you know how hard it is to find static on a TV, bro? Like, bro, I'd understand if they was watching Teletubbies or something, but static? This is a sign of pure demon time. A sign that they're ready to crash out. Rigby finds this out when he realized Mordecai took the battery out of his watch, so he doesn't know what time it is. And so Mordecai and Rigby runs around the whole house grabbing every clock so Rigby doesn't see the time. And then he proceeds to shove him in the microwave and turn that bitch on, which ends up taking him to the time dimension. And as they're traveling, this jealous ass Mordecai pushes Rigby out, killing him. Like, bro, you crashed out that hard over having no riz? It took Father Time showing him the dumb shit he's done just because he's jealous for him to realize that he fucked up. But luckily for him, this is regular show and he gets a do-over. But Muscle Man, on the other hand, oh Lord, where do I even start with Muscle Man? The first case we're gonna be looking at for Muscle Man is when he got pranked. So Thomas was a new employee, and everybody was pranking him in like the first week. Even Skips and Pops got into pranking. Everybody was having fun, and it was great until Muscle Man started doing his pranks. Now, mind you, the week for pranking was over, and this nigga was still going on, farting in this dude's face. Like, Muscle Man, bro, we know you don't shower. You could have killed him. Anywho, Rigby and Mordecai, who are professional empaths, decided it was not good that Muscle Man was pranking Thomas this much, even though Thomas was fine with it. So they decided to prank Muscle Man and spill a bunch of trash on him, telling him that it was Thomas who did the prank. And on God, bro, I don't even know why Muscle Man is mad. Like, bro, you look like you belong in the trash. Yeah, but that didn't stop him from raging against Thomas. Man starts running through the forest, tossing trees. Like, bro, look at this great value hole, picking up this big ass boulder and tossing it. Like, bro, dude was ready to murder Thomas all because of a prank. Like, bro, imagine your coworker just casually palming 2 trees, 1 in each hand. Muscle Man is a grade A crash out, bruh. Bro was destroying the park in the process. How do you people even make money? If every week one of you guys crash out and destroy the park, bro, how is this place even profitable? I know damn well you guys are like $1 trillion in debt because you niggas crash out way too often for that to not be possible. Anywho, Rigby, Mordecai, and Thomas are booking it from this angry Shrek, and this nigga picks up a whole car. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought that was the worst part, I will tell you what came next. Man's found Thomas, and while he drives away, Muscle Man picks up this big ass shed, lifts it over his head like he was Superman, and starts running with that bitch full speed. And he tosses that thing like he was Patrick Mahomes, attempting to kill Thomas, all because he was pranked. Anywho, that prank didn't go over well. So the next time they decided that he was doing too many pranks, they gave him a fake lottery ticket for his birthday. And this big dumb nigga thought he won $1 million. So he starts breaking everything in sight, cause that's what you do when you're rich, apparently. I swear, it's always the broke people that thinks the moment you become rich, you start spending your money on dumb shit. Anywho, Skips warns Mordecai and Rigby that the last time somebody pulled a money prank on Muscle Man, it didn't end well for him. And these niggas spent the entire episode terrified of telling him the truth. So then he goes and tries to cash the lottery check, but the machine says it's invalid. And so he proceeds to be Muscle Man and starts beating the machine to give him his money. And bro, I swear these security guards were hiding in the bushes waiting for something exciting to happen, because these niggas start spawning in droves. Like, why does a lottery company have a private army? They tried to jump Muscle Man, but nothing was working. This man was fighting an entire army by himself. Bro was literally tossing these niggas. They pulled up with batons and shields and couldn't even touch this dude. Like, Muscle Man is literally a one-man army. I don't know how. Anywho, Mordecai finally got the courage to tell him that the ticket was fake, and after resolving everything, they all went home. And on the drive back, this man asked them if they have life insurance. Those words coming from somebody who was known for crashing out, and you guys are currently in a war with him? Yeah, fearing for your life is a definite right now. Like, the workers at the park are easily known crash outs. But what people don't realize is that the whole park alone is just full of crash outs. I remember this one Halloween episode when Rigby decided to egg a wizard's house, to which the wizard was not happy and cursed this nigga to gradually turn into a house. Dude proceeds to kill like half the cast, and when he finally turned Rigby a house, he threw some eggs back at him. Like, this wizard literally crashed out, turned Rigby into a house just so he could throw eggs at him back. And bro, let me not even get started on the pack of geese that goes around casually attacking people for no reason, who are constantly in war with a bunch of baby ducks. Next, we get to Benson crashing out in one of the most legendary scenes in regular show. Benson is just known for yelling at Mordecai and Rigby because these niggas never do anything right. Pops, noticing this, tells Benson, don't yell at Mordecai and Rigby for 24 hours. If I catch you, you're fired. By the way, Pops is the son of the guy who owns the park, and I guess he has the ability to just fire Benson. So Benson tries to go a whole day without yelling. it did not go well. Cause even at home, everybody is yelling. To even pass the sup, bro, they told him to yell. He can't. And so this gumball machine just keeps getting mad, storing all his anger.
Wow.
And dude legit starts turning red. No Disney. And when bro was at his boiling point, he starts losing it. And what's worse is throughout the entire day, Mordecai and Rigby were just fucking up at every chance they got. And then we see Benson at the end of his run. Bro is walking and his foot is steaming. This nigga really thought he was Shinra. Firefoot head ass. Anywho, as this nigga is steaming, these two dumbasses, Mordecai and Rigby, crashes the cart right in front of him. Cause this dumbass was driving with a blindfold. Anywho, Benson, trying not to yell, starts holding in his anger. But as we've all seen from Mob Psycho 100, that never turns out good. And this nigga proceeds to start turning into a miniature sun with pure rage, destroying the park as usual. And when he's told he can finally yell at them, bro basically burnt their ears off with yelling. They couldn't hear shit afterwards. Imagine being told you can't yell just for 24 hours and you proceed to get this mad if you don't yell in 24 hours. Pops has always been a chill dude, and so he's never really crashed out. Except for that one time when he somehow got in a rap battle with Childish Gambino and Tyler the Creator and won. But the next member who did crash out is Skips. The day Skips lost in arm wrestling will always be remembered, especially since it was to Rigby. After losing, bro, this man could not believe his eyes, and Rigby proved it back to back. Anywho, bro, we literally start the episode with Rigby being dead, and then we go back to the beginning. Skips arm wrestles everybody at the table and beats them, even though he struggled with Muscle Man's strong ass. And Muscle Man proceeds to act like the pig he is. And then he gets to Rigby. Now, nobody has any hopes or faith in Rigby because he's the weakest of them all. So they get ready to start, and Rigby wins. Skip says maybe he wasn't ready, so they ran it back. And after a struggle, Rigby won again. And bro was flabbergasted. Like his entire worldview collapsed. Unable to believe his loss, he goes and asks for a rematch. But the niggas was playing their video game, and he proceeds to break it. Yeah, bro, the crash out already started. Anywho, while he's working out, Rigby brings Benson to get his money for the video game. And Skips asks for another rematch and loses. Mans was stressing out so bad he started going through Rigby's laundry and gets caught. And then Mordecai tells him the secret. So yeah, turns out Rigby was using this Playco arm boy to cheat. And Skips was not happy. Bro goes back to his home gym, gets a good workout in. Anybody who goes to the gym knows when you get that good pump. He even used this van to do curls. And before leaving, he punches the sandbag open. And bro, here's a small detail I did not notice as a kid when I watched this episode. Skips walked out the door. Now, to those of you who's never seen regular shows, you guys are probably confused, like what the fuck, he's been walking this entire time. Wrong! His name is Skips for a reason, because he skips everywhere. So the fact that he intentionally decided to walk out the door, bro had murder on his mind. He walked straight on demon time, pulls up to where they're partying, and asks Rigby for a rematch. He grabs Rigby's hand and pulls the arm boy off. And bro, the music that was playing told it all. Rigby looked terrified, everybody else is flabbergasted, and they get set to go. And bro, look at this nigga's dome, look at the van on his head. This man pulls Rigby up and destroys the table with his body, killing him in the process. Dude ended up having to literally arm wrestle Death, who looks like he's been choking the chicken way too much. But in the end, he won Rigby's soul back using the Playco arm boy. So yeah, regular show is literally just crash out central. Everybody from the park manager to the regular citizens, all of them are straight up crash out. So in a previous episode of Gumball, Mr. Small, who is high on Lord knows what substance, took Gumball and Darwin literally outside of the show into the void of forgotten stuff. Now while they're in there, they found what they were looking for, but didn't notice that Rob's ass was in there too, cause bro is just forgettable. But bro ended up hitching a ride on the minivan while they were escaping the void, and bro ended up deformed. And by deformed, I mean like they made him more unique. And mans decided to live in the basement of the Watterson's house without them knowing for like Lord knows how long. They finally caught his ass. It turns out he doesn't even know who he is. Until Gumball made him remember. And Mans immediately became the villain of the show. Mans became Gumball's #1 hater. All because they forgot his forgettable ass. The next time we see this man, he buys a universal remote and immediately crashes out on the dude that he bought it from. Look how he tortures this man in his own van. And when bro finally realizes the power that's in his hand, he accidentally rewinds all the way back from the void. And after witnessing his own story, Now he became even more motivated. And when dude fast forwards again, back to the red van, the seller's like, all right, buddy, it's time to pay up. That shit was like $12. This man proceeds to erase that nigga from reality just for asking him to pay. This man is a true villain. And not even 20 seconds later, bro notices the water sin and proceeds to try and murk them. Look at this car pileup, bro. They would have been dead. And man spends the entire episode ruining Gumball's life with this remote, bro. Bro was out here changing subtitles, making their parents get a divorce, and then man starts fucking with the settings, like turning off the damn lights. Bro even made Gumball push his girlfriend off the second floor. All that, and Gumball still don't remember this nigga's name. Like, bro, this nigga crashed out so far, and bro, Gumball still do not remember his name for real, bro. That nigga said, your name is Roy. They get into a fight, and bro ends up throwing the damn remote back in the void and forced Gumball to go and get it. And Gumball luckily rewinded all the way to the beginning. And after a bunch of rewinding and fighting again, Rob finally realizes his crash out ways doesn't make anything better. Not gonna lie, bro, Rob had the wildest run as a crash out. Was it valid?
Yes.
I don't know, bro. Like, dog, like you were a background character. Nobody even knew your name. But hey, that never stops an actual crash out. Now let's take a trip back to season 1. This is Bobbert. He's a robot, but he wants to be a real boy. Now, in the first couple of seconds of this episode, you witness a T-Rex, a banana, a balloon, a rainbow cloud kid, and another one that looks like a yak playing soccer. That has to be one of the most jarring things to witness. Anywho, when bro got the chance to kick...
I can't finish this video tonight. We gotta get back to this. This is funny. I'm off this.